These long dog days of summer, I mean, we just made it through a heat wave. Mama was parched through this heat wave. I was hitting up Dunkin' every single day, and I will continue to probably for the rest of my days, but especially this summer. Dunkin' is helping everyone stay cool this summer with its lineup of refreshers. These drinks are packed with bold, fruity flavors and served ice cold. It's amazing. Dunkin' refreshers are the perfect afternoon pick-me-up. I like to start my morning with them personally, and then sometimes I go back for a second one because I'm just feeling crazy. They come in a variety of delicious flavors, including fan favorites mango pineapple and strawberry dragon fruit. And then for a limited time, there's black cherry and there's pink pineapple. I'm going to tell you something right now, and it's a bold claim, let me tell you, but I stand behind it. Pink pineapple will change your life. It is so good. It has me feeling like I'm sitting in a pool, resort side, just living, honey. It's so yummy. Try your favorite flavor with green tea, sparkling water, lemonade, or Dunkin's all-new limeade. I haven't tried the limeade yet, but I'm going to. Usually I get my drinks made with green tea and occasionally lemonade, but I do really like the green tea. Or if you don't want to build your own, try one of Dunkin's curated refreshers like the Cherry Lime Ricky or the Ultimate Pink Daydream. The Cherry Lime Ricky, scrumptious. I could drink like 3 of these a day. They're so freaking yummy. Head to Dunkin' today and find your favorite refresher. Dunkin' refreshers contain less than 1% fruit juice. Limited time offer. You know what's really terrifying? That unfinished college degree lurking in the background, just sitting there, waiting for you. That's where Southern New Hampshire University comes in. With flexible online degree programs, there's no commuting, no rigid schedule, and no more excuses. Plus, they have some of the lowest online tuition rates in the U.S. Visit snhu.edu/morbid to learn more before your degree becomes just another story about what could have been. Chilling crime cases are mysterious, but finding coverage shouldn't be. With the State Farm Personal Price Plan, you have options and can personalize your plan to help create an affordable price so you can get back to cracking all of life's bigger cases. Talk to a State Farm agent today to learn how you can choose to bundle and save with the Personal Price Plan. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Head to statefarm.com to get a quote. Prices are based on rating plans that vary by state. Coverage options are selected by the customer. Availability, amount of discounts and savings, and eligibility vary by state.
Hey, weirdos. I'm Alaina.
I'm Ash.
And this is Morbid.
It's morbid at night.
It is nighttime. We are crazy.
We are crazy.
We are talking over each other. We are all the things.
Hey.
It's the holiday season.
It's the holiday season.
So everyone's stressed.
And it's hard to hang lights.
Yep, that's all I got, and I don't want to get sued, but I don't think we would. But that's all right. I'm like, we're using a tune that's like 1,000 years old, but that's fine. Whatever. Hey, hello. It's Morbid at night, and that's when we're weirdest. So today... Accurate. Like, that's when we are at our peak weird.
Peak weird right now. Delivered
hang
to
in
ya.
with us. Just hang in. It's been a long weekend. I wanted to like quickly just say hi to Ashlyn, who I ran into twice this weekend.
Oh yeah, I was with you at one of those times.
She was so sweet. So hi, Ashlyn.
Hello.
It was so nice running into you twice.
She introduced herself and she said, "I'm also Ash." And I was like, I love to meet a fellow Ash.
I was like, hell yeah. And she told us a crazy story, and it was crazy. So
it was so cool. Hello.
Ashlyn,
and thank you.
Hey. And that was awesome. And I hope you had a wonderful weekend.
At first, I thought you were literally going to say, I just want to say hi to Ash. And I was like, I've been here for like an hour.
Yeah, that's on brand for nighttime.
I was like, hi.
I'm like, you know what? I just really like to say hi to Ash.
I like your case. I just saw it.
Thank you. I got a new phone case.
Yay.
It's got aliens and skulls on it.
I really like it a lot.
So,
and a moon.
So there's one thing, we're just going to like dive right into the case today because 1, it is long, 2, it is nighttime, 3, that's just how I feel.
3 just cuz.
But there is one thing I really wanted to touch upon because I hate when I see missing especially missing children cases that I haven't heard even one thing about.
Yeah.
Which is like, obviously there's many that we haven't heard about. Whenever it like comes to my attention and it's been like months, I'm like, why haven't I heard this? Like, we have to share this far and wide. So I just found out about this missing 5-year-old boy named Michael Vaughn. He went missing from Fruitland, Idaho. He went missing on July 27th of this year.
Yeah, and when you told me this, I was like, I haven't heard anything about that.
I hadn't heard a thing about it. And his mother, Brandy Neal, is, she's on Twitter. She's trying to share this story, get it out as much as possible. She shares stuff all the time, but she's like begging for this just to be talked about because they have found nothing. So they have searched extensively, and he went missing from his neighborhood at about 6:30 p.m. on July 27th, 2021. It was near Southwest 9th Street, and this is in Fruitland, Idaho again. He was last seen in a light blue Minecraft t-shirt, black boxers, and a pair of flip-flops. He has blonde hair, blue eyes, the sweetest little face you've ever seen.
It's got like the little chubby cheeks that are just so sweet.
Little cheeks. It says police are asking for the public's help identifying a 2016 to 2020 white Honda Pilot seen in the area shortly after Michael went missing. And it says, please call Fruitland Police at 208-642-6006, or you can email findmichael@fruitland.org with any information.
And the fact that he went missing just like from his neighborhood.
Yes, that's what is...
It's terrifying.
Destroyed me. And they've done a ton of searching in the area. They have turned up nothing. And so they are really thinking this was an abduction, which makes it even scarier.
Yeah.
And he was like right outside of his house. I mean, he was right in his own neighborhood. His poor family should be celebrating the holidays with their little boy.
Of course,
and instead they are grieving and wondering where he is. So if we can just I'm going to share all the information on my Twitter. We'll share it on the Morbid Twitter. We're going to put it wherever we can. If you happen to see it, if you're on social media, just share it as much as you can just to get the information out there. Like, let's try to get Michael home.
Baby home for Christmas.
Just give some kind of information here. But yeah, I just wanted to share that one, and like our hearts go out to Brandy Neal and Michael's family. Yeah. And I hope we get good news soon.
Me too.
Put it out into the universe. But yeah, so we are going to go from that to another very distressing tale. I am covering today part 1 because it started out as a one-parter.
A two-parter.
But oh boy, 15 pages in, I was like, well,
that's 2 parts.
We're going to have to split this into 2. I am covering Dorothea Puente.
Oh, you are, huh?
She's the boarding house grandma murderer.
Oh, I know.
I suppose we can call her.
I do know.
You do know. This is a crazy case, and I found a few different books that were really good on this. The ones that I was using for this particular episode, one is called The Corpse Collector.
Oh.
Yeah. It's by Genova Ortiz. And then I found one called Buried Beneath the Boarding House, and it's by Ryan Green. And another one, which I think might be my favorite out of the 3, is called The Bone Garden, and it's by William P. Wood.
Okay.
All of them have amazing information. They go like super detailed into everything, so I highly suggest you go read them. Again, I will post them right in our show notes. But wow,
Books.
This is quite a tale.
Yeah.
Quite a tale.
And here's the thing. Like, I know the bare minimum about this, I would say. And like I've definitely listened to shows about it before, like in the past, but it's been a while since I've heard anything.
It's been a while.
It's been a while since I heard about this. And I also feel like you're going to have a special nifty way of like telling me all
really
the gory
horrifying
details. So yeah, let's
it's
go,
gonna
man.
get real.
This one's really sad.
It is.
They all are.
So, Dorothea Helen Gray was born January 9th, 1929 in Redlands, San Bernardino County, California.
That's when we should have known it was the 20s.
That was it, the roaring 20s, right at the end of the roaring 20s. Speaking of the roaring 20s and prohibition and all that, her parents were both raging alcoholics. They were not nice. They were belligerent drunks. Their names were Trudy Mae Yates. She was from Oklahoma. And Jesse James Gray, who was a veteran from Missouri. they had an unhappy marriage right from the jump. Like, they were not like, oh, we're so in love. Like, I'm not real sure why they got together, to be quite honest.
Sometimes it just, misery loves company.
I suppose. And they definitely found misery with each other. And somehow they decided that having like a buttload of children would probably be just like a great idea.
Oh, did they have a ton?
Like, this is going to help us out. She was the 6th of 7 kids.
Many kids.
Which, that's a lot of kids no matter what. But when you're very unhappy together, that's even more kids.
You might
like,
as well multiply
it
it by like 5.
Yeah, it's like, I feel like after the 3rd one, I don't know because I stopped at 3, but I feel like after the 3rd, it's just all relative at that point. I feel like you might as well have 100.
Yeah.
After that, it just doesn't matter.
It's a lot of kids.
Now, her father was a World War I veteran, and he survived a mustard gas attack.
Holy shit.
Yeah, and he suffered the rest of his life with lung issues, PTSD, all kinds of horrifying things. It eventually turned into like tuberculosis. It was just, he suffered.
Yeah, of course.
Now, which you can understand why he probably turned to alcohol.
Sure.
Probably for a numbing effect.
It happens a lot.
It sounds like they were both pretty terrible and definitely terrible parents, but the mom was like a specific kind of terrible, so we'll get into that in a second. Now, the father, Jesse, he was once a very successful farmer, but obviously when he came home from the war, he had a lot of trouble and he just couldn't keep it up anymore. He was often very also like suicidal in front of his children, like vocally.
That's really
about
sad.
it, and would actively like threaten to kill himself in front of them.
Yeah, no, that's not okay.
And he would literally get to the point, I mean, his kids would get to the point of hysteria, begging him not to, and that's when he would stop.
Oh, that's really
Which is like
sad.
a whole different kind of abuse. Like,
Yeah.
you can't traumatize your children that way. And these are like young kids. He's like waving a gun around being like, I'm going to kill myself.
It's so sad that therapy like wasn't at where it is
Yeah.
now, because
Exactly.
that's a time where it's like you turn to therapy, but back then therapy was frowned upon.
Exactly. And I mean, even now it's like sometimes there's all these like, these little like, what am I trying to say? Stigmas on it. You know what I mean? And especially in like, sometimes with like little boys and men, it gets like, just be a man. Like, and it's like, no, everyone
phrase-
has a brain and a mind and emotions. We all need help.
Right.
Like,
We're all
figuring
human.
them out.
And
Like,
the phrase "be a man" is the dumbest phrase I have ever heard in my life.
the only time it's awesome is during Milan. Because
Yeah.
that song is,
Yeah.
that song
That
like
song.
slaps.
Let's go.
Still
like,
stupid.
really bad messaging
Stupid
in that
song.
movie sometimes. I'm like, ooh, my
yeah.
favorite movie. And then I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, kids, take note that no.
Oh yeah, because every time we watch that, it's like whenever that song comes on, I'm like, I know this song is catchy. I know it's awesome.
But it ain't it.
But how stupid are these lyrics? And they're like,
Yeah, Mom, we know. We're doing a good job over here.
Yeah, exactly. We're doing great.
We're
over
doing
here.
a good
We're
job.
killing it.
Yeah. I don't really know.
So yeah, therapy would have been a great thing for Jesse.
And it's really sad that he didn't probably have access to that at that point.
And he probably didn't have access to any of the things he needed to get himself back together after the. I mean, World War I. They're coming home. Everybody could have used somebody to talk to.
Absolutely.
Your home should show off who you are. Now is the time to boldly write the newest chapter in your home story. And your main character? It's Ashley. Ashley has styles that balance timeless appeal and modern trends to bring your personal look home. Yes, these are well-crafted and affordable pieces with eye-catching design, but they're also built to stand up to real life. With features like stain-resistant performance fabric, options that are incredibly durable, easy to clean, and stain-resistant with machine-washable covers. Plus, Ashley provides fast, reliable, white-glove delivery right to your room of choice, so you can style your space without any stress. Ashley was nice enough to send us a bunch of new pieces for my pod lab at my house, and when I tell you they deliver it to your room of choice, unfortunately they did have to deliver to the attic, but they could not have been nicer about it. I got, or was gifted, I should say, the Revion Lake sofa and love seat. It's in this like olive colored velvety fabric. It's so nice. I will say it is so freaking easy to clean because if you know me, you know that I have a white cat and a black cat and then a multicolored cat. The white cat loves to just roll all up on this furniture and leave his hair everywhere, but it's so easy to vacuum. I also got the Meili coffee table. So I have that, like I said, in my attic, but I'm ready to order another one for my living room because this coffee table is so beautiful. It has this like antique old money vibe to it. I absolutely love it. And then finally, I got 3 actually of the core stone end tables. They have little shelves in them so you can dress them up and, kind of like personalize them to your style. I highly, highly recommend all of the pieces that I got. And I just recommend Ashley in general. It was such an easy process to shop with them, and the delivery, all of that from start to finish, it was awesome. Visit your local Ashley store or head to ashley.com to find your style. Getting paid twice a month doesn't mean money is scarce. It just feels that way. That feeling makes you do weird stuff, like putting things on a card you didn't need to. Earnin removes that feeling. With Earnin, you can access up to $150 per day of money you've already earned, plus up to $1,000 between paychecks. Standard transfers take 1 to 2 business days with no mandatory fees, and expedited transfers start at $3.99 and cap at $5.99. 5 million people are already on it, and honestly, it's wild it didn't exist sooner. Download Earnin on the App Store or Google Play, spelled like earning money without the G. Type in Morbid under podcast when you sign up. It'll really help the show. Earnin is a financial technology company, not a bank. Access limits are based on your earnings and risk factors. Standard cash outs take 1 to 2 business days with no mandatory fees. Expedited transfers available for a fee. Tips are voluntary and don't affect the service. Available in select states. Terms and restrictions apply. Visit earnin.com for full details.
And his wife was definitely not going to be that like shoulder to cry on or lean on or anything like that.
She actually just like never offered her shoulders up for anything.
Yeah, no, she did not. Now, needless to say, they were not great to their kids. And by not great, I mean like horrifically abusive. Oh, no. Now, Trudy, her mother, was a mother only in name. Like, yeah. No motherly. And she herself said, I hate being a mother. I don't like kids.
So why'd you do it 7 times then?
That's the thing. It's like, I don't know how we got that far. But she herself said she had trouble developing maternal connections with any of her children. She really had no interest in the whole mothering biz. She didn't even want to treat them with indifference. She was just mean.
From the start?
Just from the start. Just mean. She was particularly mean to Dorothea.
Is Dorothea close to the youngest?
I believe
or more
Dorothea
older?
is the youngest girl.
Youngest girl.
So I don't know what the story is with that, but like, she was mean to all of them. Like, and she was very neglectful to all of them. Like, she didn't give a shit if they ate. She didn't give a shit if they bathed.
Jesus.
Nothing. And neither did Jessie. And then Jessie was in and out of the hospital most of the time, so it was really just no one around.
It was like fend for yourself.
And the mother would actually just leave for days at a time, no matter how old the kids were, and then show back up. Sometimes she would lock Dorothea and her younger brother in a closet for days while she took off and like went on benders.
What?
Yeah. Yeah, just lock them in a closet.
For days?
Literal days. Yeah.
So we're talking about somebody that was made to be who they were?
Yeah. And then she would come back, and in all, I think either 2 out of the 3 books or all 3 books, I found this one like story where she would lock them in a closet for days, come home, open the closet door. She'd be like, had been drinking for days and doing who knows what. She'd vomit all over the house and then make them clean it up.
What the?
Yeah.
That's just so bleak.
It's so, reading these things, I was like,
like that happens.
Wow.
That literally happens.
And it horrifies me that I can't even think about it too much because it makes my brain want to
No child
explode.
ever deserves to have to like
kids. Just let kids be kids.
That's
man.
the thing. Like that is just like such a
damn
force into like the real world
and
in a
into
strange
a real
way.
world that it's like you just don't even need to know exists right now. Like you're a child. Just don't worry about anything. Like just don't worry.
Watch Mulan and live life.
Worry about who your favorite, what you want to be when you grow up and what your favorite color is this week.
Yeah.
what color you want me to paint your room.
Like, worry about that. Lunch.
Yeah, exactly. Worry about whether you like bologna this week or not. That's what you should worry about.
Yeah, as a child, not cleaning up your mother's vomit.
After she locked you in a closet for days to go party.
So you're like weak and you haven't eaten, and then she's like, "Cool, clean up my vomit."
It's horrifying to think about. It really
terrible
is.
Human.
Now, they also just didn't feed their kids, like I said. They just didn't do anything for them but really hurt them. So the kids would all wander the streets at night a lot of times asking people for food. And this is when a lot of trauma outside of the home happened to Dorothea, because she was often sexually assaulted during these outings.
She's a little girl just walking the streets.
And by disgusting pieces of shit who saw this helpless little girl on the street.
Took advantage.
Yeah. And so, but whenever they did run into neighbors who helped them and, you know, fed them, whether it was like day, night, because they had neighbors who were like, we just fed them. Like, we just didn't know what to do. Like, we would bathe them, we would feed them, we would try to do something. A lot of the times, this was a neighborhood with a lot of Mexican families, and Dorothea, like, to the end, said the ones who took her in and fed her and treated her like their own was mostly Mexican families.
Yeah.
And so she always said, like, they were the ones that took care of me, and they were the ones who I felt like who was my family.
Yeah,
and sure as we'll see later, she carries that on, because as we're going to see, Dorothea is a pathological liar. Oh. And to the point where, like, I mean, it's clear that she had to kind of go into a fantasy world just to get out of her own world. Mm-hmm. And I think she took that into, like, oh, she lies about everything.
Took it to the nth degree.
She uses this, I think she did see those families as her own, because later she says she grew up in Mexico.
Yeah.
She, you know, her parents were this, her parents were that. Like, she kind of did take them on as, like, her surrogate family.
It's like a trauma
in her
response.
Fantasy world.
Sure.
Which is sad. But then you find out what she does later and you're like, but you're a demon. Like, it's so, these kind of cases just always make my brain go crazy. But Dorothea did learn conversational Spanish while eating with these families. They were kind to her, like, and she uses that later. So at one point, the family had to move to Los Angeles because Jesse was literally bedridden and unable to work. Oh. So they had to move to Los Angeles because they needed to be closer to the VA hospital there.
Okay.
So Trudy at this point was having to kind of be the breadwinner for the family a little bit, and she turned to sex work, and the kids were also being sent out to work with farmers and other odd jobs. So Dorothea was only like 4 or 5 years old, and she was working in, like, you know, like picking vegetables for entire days in, like, California
in the heat, right? Know? And she's a baby.
Now, when she was 6 years old, she and her siblings were actually removed from her parents' care.
I was wondering when that was going to happen. I had a feeling that was coming.
Now, this was after an aunt actually reported the abuse, the neglect, the disgusting conditions they lived in. So they were all split up and put with different relatives.
It's so sad when that happens.
Yeah, and it's like, I know it's hard because it's a big clan of kids, but it's like, oh, like, you just want them to stay together, because the other thing we see is that Dorothea's older siblings kind of raised her.
Like, of course.
The parents weren't raising anybody, and her older siblings, and she said it, like, they took care of me. Like, they were my parents.
Right.
So
that
for
happens
them
a lot
to be
in those
kind of
situations.
taken away, it's like,
right.
That's sad.
Because then not only are, like, you get dealt these shitty parents, and then you, like, your surrogate parents are taken away from you.
Yeah, exactly. It's like the whole thing is just
and it's just
really
teaching
tragic.
You that the world is just, like, constantly going to shit all over you.
Yeah, and it's just a constant shift in who you can feel safe with and who you can't. So
then you just never feel safe.
Now, when she was younger, she was, you know, they asked her who do you want to live with if you could live with somebody, and she said she wanted to live with her dad.
Okay.
So it seems to me like her mom was a much harsher figure in her life, and her dad, I think, was just.
Well, and I'm sure he was bedridden, like you said. He was bedridden.
That I don't think he could, like, actively participate in as much abuse as his wife did, but, you know, he was neglectful and shitty as well. But I think out of the two of them, I guess he was the
lesser of two
winner.
Evils.
But she said she wanted to live with her dad or her sister, her older sister. And she specifically said at 6 years old, she didn't want to live with her mother.
Yeah, that tells you everything you need to know. At 6 years
old, this child says, I don't want to live with my mother. And she said, Mom drinks. And when she drinks, she gets really mean.
At 6 years old.
6 years old.
You shouldn't even know that.
My kids are not even 6 yet. And like right at 6 years old. Mm-hmm. I can't imagine. They don't even know what drinking is.
I was just gonna say.
I can't even fathom them having that kind of knowledge of just, like, darkness.
No,
you know?
they shouldn't.
Now, she did end up getting eventually back into her father's custody, but this is when he was diagnosed with tuberculosis.
Oh, man.
And she was 8 years old at this point, and she spent the entire time she was with him taking care of him, mm-hmm. and he died only a month later.
Oh, man.
So she got him for a month, and then that was it. So this is when she is starting to really retreat into that fantasy world. She started doing the really classic serial killer thing where they don't just fantasize. Like, everyone has or does fantasize about situations and things, but these kinds of people become obsessed with their fantasies, and they basically just totally retreat into them. Like, that is their real world now, is that fantasy world. Everything else doesn't exist. And they start to lose grip on what's real and what is a figment of their now highly active imagination.
Right.
Which can be great for, like, artists, like, if they turn it into that way, and they turn it into this amazing, like, I'm going to create things, and, like, that's what's going to make me happy and bring me some kind of validation. But then when it goes the other way, it's used for bad, and it can get really bad. Now, teachers and friends of hers were the ones that said that she was such a liar.
Oh, man.
Pathologically. This was obviously just to keep herself from fully living the traumatic life that was around her at all times. But she used a story a lot where she told her parents, she said her parents were, like, amazing people, and that she was raised in Mexico with 17 siblings. She was the 18th of 17.
Okay.
So that was the lie she used a lot in her life.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I don't know why 17 siblings.
I wonder if she, like, made up personalities for them in her head.
Maybe.
And, like, they really were her siblings in her mind.
Yeah, and maybe she collected from all those families that took care of her, the different people, and it equaled that.
Maybe.
Now, again, in 1937, at only 8, her mother really ramped up her alcoholic ways, and the abuse got way worse.
So she ended up going back to her mom's house after her father died?
After her father died, she was able to get custody again.
Jesus.
Teachers at the kids' school reported her and the kids again, like, that they were clearly being neglected and abused, and they were removed again. So they were all put into the Church of Christ home in Ontario, California. After her children were removed, Trudy just was, like, cool and ran away with her boyfriend, who was in a motorcycle gang.
Cool.
She died the following year in an accident. So that was that. Like, she's 8 years old.
And she's an orphan.
She's been taken out of her home twice, and now she's a full-blown orphan. And, she was put into different foster homes with, like, and she admitted it later, like, lovely families who tried to help her.
Right.
But she just she couldn't handle it. And so she would run away. She'd get put with a relative. She'd run away.
Right. Well, and she's just getting uprooted so many times. Like, she doesn't even know what home is.
I'm sure she just doesn't trust anyone.
Yeah.
I'm just not trusting that anyone has my best interest in mind. In 1944, she moved in with her brother Jim, her older brother Jim, and his wife Louise in Napa, California. So she was in high school. She did okay for, like, a minute and a half. And, like, she was super popular in high school because she told all these tall tales that made people think she was something she wasn't. But it didn't last long at all. And she eventually ran away from her brother and sister-in-law's house and went back to one of those foster homes where her sister, I think, was staying. So she wanted to be with her sister at this foster home. She's trying to, like, grab onto something.
Yeah.
This family took her in. They tried to get her on the straight and narrow, but she ran again, refused to attend high school regularly, and by 16, she was out on her own.
Oh, no, Dorothy.
Yeah, it's just not a good story so far. So in 1945, she ended up in Washington. She met some friends on the street because she was living on the street and started working in sex work. Everyone said she was very beautiful growing up, like a very beautiful woman. So, she was easily able to make some money doing that work. So World War II also was going on, and it was bringing back soldiers who they were trying to tempt into,
They've been away for a while.
Date with, So they've been away for a while. So one soldier was a 22-year-old guy named Fred McFall. Now, initially, he was just a client, but after spending time with her, he fell in love with her.
Oh,
and he would come back.
Why couldn't it have ended here? Like, pretty woman story.
I wish it had ended here. Now, he would come back again and again. He would pay her extra money just to talk.
Fred,
like, he just wanted to sit and talk with her.
Literally Pretty Woman.
Yes.
Fucking love that movie.
He was literally smitten, and she seemed to be too.
Yeah.
One night, he just proposed to her out of the blue, and they ran away to Reno, Nevada, and they got married in 1946.
Why didn't it end here?
I know.
Why can't the episode just be over and it's a happy one?
She was 16. Her marriage certificate said she was 30.
Wow.
And she said her name was Sherial A. Rasil.
Alrighty.
That's not her name.
It's not.
And he just loved, like, her crazy ass stories. Like, he said he just thought they were great. Like,
did he know how old she was?
I think he was not totally.
I think he was not aware.
I think he was not totally aware of how old she was. I think a lot of the lies were confusing, and I think
he's like, so what year were you literally born in?
Yeah, I don't think he was totally aware of what was going on here.
He was too smitten.
But he was just like, wow, she's adorable. Like, she lies about everything. It's so cute.
Yeah,
like,
that's gonna get wonky later.
Because again, her stories most of the time were just innocuous, weird stories that you were like, that's kind of funny that you're just telling me. As we'll find out later, like she said she was a rockette at one point. Like, there's stories that you're like, that's adorable.
Yeah,
like,
it's not like harming you.
You're a rockette.
Like, you're not saying like you're 007 and like you're gonna, you know.
And it's sad. Like, you're just like, okay, that's sad. Like,
Right.
I wish you were a rockette. You know, like, why not? Yeah. I don't wish Dorothea was, because she's an asshole. But
I wish like little Dorothea got to be a rockette.
Yeah, like sometimes people who tell these stories, you're just like, what are you missing? Mm-hmm. You know, and so like you feel bad. So I think that's where he was. He was like, it's cute and like kind of endearing that she does this, and she's this beautiful girl, and like she's sweet. And
she's been through a lot.
She's been through a lot. And he actually was quoted as saying she could pass for anyone she wanted to be by the way she acted. I don't know where she would come up with this shit out of the clear blue sky.
I don't know where she came up with this shit.
And for a while, things were fine. Like, just fine.
But then I'm sure those lies escalated.
Not wonderful, not horrible, just fine. Like, the marriage was fine. He worked at a bar, but he was starting to, like, kind of get over the bullshit like, he was working at a bar, he's bringing home money. She's still just kind of like bullshitting about everything. And he's like, this was really cute in the beginning, but like,
you gotta start living real life.
Yeah, like, can we stop this whole thing? And he was worried that, you know, he was like, maybe she's like sick, like something's wrong, like why is she lying so much?
Well, and I'm sure like the lies about her life started changing into lies about just like day to day, and he was concerned.
Exactly. And she was forgetting like what lies she told, so she would like lie about a lie, and he was like, okay, this is getting too much.
Yeah,
so things were all great, but they were not wonderful, and it was certainly not her parents' marriage, like
right,
that kind of horrible, but just like it's not going great. So that same year in 1946, she actually gave birth to their first daughter, and then immediately another daughter the following year. So it sounds like, okay.
Yeah.
Like everything's going on.
Love.
She was her mother, unfortunately.
Oh, so she started drinking?
She hated being a mother immediately. Oh. Immediately said she wanted nothing to do with that child. To me, I'm also like, is this postpartum depression? And she was never diagnosed?
I was actually going to ask that when we were talking about her mother. I wonder if she was suffering postpartum. And
Thank you.
Can that be generational? I don't know about that.
I believe if like your mother suffered from it, you might be more prone to it. And I know it's like one of those things you just like have no idea. But
it's a toss up.
This to me sounds like postpartum, but there are just people who don't want to be a mother, but I feel like then don't become one. But
and don't do it again. If you didn't like it the first time, you're probably not going to like it the second.
You're probably not going to like the second time. But to me, I'm like, I wonder if because this is in the 40s and shit,
it's undiagnosed.
They're not diagnosing postpartum depression back then, like willy-nilly. So it's like, to me, this sounds like that, and it's really
when they
sad
did diagnose postpartum depression, the shit they put you on was meth.
And it's like, this was times when it was like, you're just a hysterical woman and you don't know anything, you know? So it's like, this is one of those things when I'm like, shit, like this
doesn't have a chance.
Now, again, she hated being a mother immediately. She started drinking just like her mother, and she got mean as fuck. And right away, she simply decided, I don't want these kids. So she just gave them away.
What?
Yep.
How?
She had one go live with a relative, and another one was just sent to foster care. Now, the second daughter, she literally went into labor while Fred was at work, didn't tell him, just went, had the baby, and then just came home came home without a baby. And he was like, what now? And she was like, oh, I gave it away.
Well, what about was he not concerned about the first one?
Her husband had not agreed to this. And he was heartbroken. Like, Fred was like, I did not want to give up these children. What? And I especially did not agree to give up the second one. And he actually tried desperately to get his daughter back, but she had signed away rights. So he couldn't get her back.
What?
I believe later they connected, the father, Fred and the child.
Good.
But the marriage could not be repaired after this. Like, this
gave away his children.
Yeah, after that was like, okay. But Fred did try to make it work for a little while because he truly believed she was like sick. He was
I think
something's
she
wrong
was.
here. And she would just leave for weeks after this and not contact him. And then the next year in 1948, she got pregnant again.
No, stop that. Fred, don't try again.
It's not Fred's baby.
Oh, okay.
And unfortunately, she miscarried. And Fred divorced her because he was like, that's not mine. So I think that's the final straw.
I think my work here is done.
I think you getting pregnant by some other man is probably my final straw after you gave away our child.
Really surprised it wasn't giving away the children that, did that.
I think it was that. And then it was like, whoop, okay, this is the cherry on top.
Yeah.
Now, she just kept on lying. She kept going. She told stories about everything. And she was 19 at this point and now had lost everything and everyone. Like, she didn't have any family. She lost Fred. She gave away the 2 children.
I'm surprised Fred didn't try to have her, put somewhere. Because that was bad. I mean, back then,
you could have just, it was... And honestly...
Beep at this... Yeah.
Yeah, one of her husbands does. So she has many husbands. Now, she told people Fred was actually, when they asked, she would say he was a war hero and had died in battle.
Okay.
Fred was very much alive.
Yeah.
But that's the kind of stuff she would do. Like I'm just 19 and I'm a widow because my brave husband died in battle. And it's like, no, Fred's just over there.
You just fucked Fred right over to the point where you literally couldn't anymore.
So she went back to California and she just worked odd jobs and was trying to figure out ways to get ahead because now she's struggling. She's on her own again.
And she's 19.
Her ways to do this were to steal and to con because those are the things she's good at. So she forged checks and stole money whenever she could. She would pickpocket. Eventually, she was caught in the act of forging a check and was arrested.
Yeah, not good.
After being arrested at 19 years old, the first ever time she was seen by a doctor was when she was in custody.
That's the only time she had ever gone to a doctor?
19 years was never seen by a doctor.
That is horrific.
As a child, she was never seen by a doctor.
That's horrible.
Yeah. And a psychiatric evaluation showed that Dorothea, basically they were like, she's a sad, neglected human who stole just to impress and fantasized about a better life. Like, that's basically, she's stealing to be, she's stealing to buy clothes so she looks like she's a fancy woman. She's just doing it because she wants people to think she's this person she's not.
Right.
Now, basically, the doctor said she didn't like necessarily committing the crimes, but she did it because it was necessary to cultivate that life she wanted to portray.
And to get by.
Yeah. Now, she was sentenced to a year and only served 4 months. But while she was there, she learned to pickpocket, and she would spend days practicing signatures to get better at forging.
And nobody...
The Sherwin-Williams summer sale is here. Get 30% off select paints and stains or 35% off their newest product, Emerald Symmetry, July 17th through the 27th. Whether you're looking to refresh your interior or your exterior, they've got the colors to bring your vision to life. And with delivery, getting everything to your door is easier than ever. Shop online or visit your neighborhood Sherwin-Williams store. Retail sales only. Some exclusions apply. See store for details. Delivery available on qualifying orders. Every good detective needs a partner to support them on important cases. Think of a State Farm agent like your sidekick, there to help you along the way in your search for coverage. State Farm can help you choose the coverage you need, whether it's for your home, car, boat, or even RV. With so many options, it's nice knowing you have help finding what fits for you so you can get back to solving all of life's bigger cases. Go to statefarm.com or use the award-winning app to connect with a local agent and get a quote. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
So to keeping me, tabs on that.
Sounds like she might like it, but
sounds like she digs it.
Now, in 1952, she met a Swedish man named Axel Johansson.
Yeah, she did,
and she married him.
Axel Johansson, of course, you fucking marry him.
His name is Axel Johansson. He was a dick.
You don't marry him, okay?
He was a merchant seaman, and to him, she said she was Tea Singawala, and now Johansson. She hyphenated, but Tea was her name.
That's a pretty name.
She said that her father was Egyptian and her mother was from Israel. That was not true. Huh. She was also a former rockette. That's where this comes in.
Oops, there it is.
But she didn't do that anymore, in case you were wondering.
Just gave up, right? Rockette days.
No, during a performance with said rockettes, a girl next to her, rocketting, she snapped her heels. Her heel snapped. And it sent them flying into the orchestra pit because she fell right on her. And Dorothea got a broken leg. She broke her leg. Oh, and she had been recruited into the Rockettes by just being approached in a department store.
Huh.
And she took that job in the Rockettes at the risk of abandoning her previous job, which, do you want to know what that previous job was?
Obviously.
Being a world-renowned chef in a world-renowned restaurant
Nice to meet you. I am Julia Child.
Yes. Now, she also shared the lie about her husband being a war hero before this and dying in battle.
Whoa.
So Axel got like an earful of just bullshit.
Imagine that first date.
Yeah, he was like, whoa, okay.
He's like, you've gone through it, lady.
And she even went as far to say, like, the girl who, like, her heel snapped and shit, like, she was, like, paralyzed or something in the fall. Like, she went really far into it. Now, Axel was away on business a lot. He's a merchant seaman, so, and neighbors would, like, kind of, like, snitch and tell him that men showed up all the time when he was gone.
I mean, fair.
Yeah, I mean, like, this isn't one of those, like, snitches get stitches thing. It's like,
Snitches
he has a right to
save
know.
marriages.
Like, he has a right to know. Now, soon he noticed his money was being drained. She was gambling. She was drinking a lot, and it was with his money.
So she didn't love him. This was just a place to like, live for a while to get by.
She was also telling more stories about being best friends with Rita Hayworth, spending time with JFK and Jackie O.
Like, cool, go with them then.
Like, damn, like, make it happen, girl.
Jackie O comes up so frequently in true crime. Like, why?
Jackie O is just, like, around.
She is.
She's just around.
What's up,
so,
Jackie?
unfortunately, Axel and her started fighting like cats and dogs. And then he discovered that she was still involved in sex work and she had lied about it. It's an issue. So he also became abusive after this. Like, once he found these things out, he was being abusive. So it was just an all-around terrible situation.
This whole entire story
involved.
Is a shitstorm.
It really is. Now, she also, around this time, claimed to be a holistic doctor.
No, you can't just say that.
You can, because apparently she just started treating neighbors and shit. Like, neighbors were having her treat them. Good. Now, she was saying that back growing up in Mexico, she was a traveling holistic healer, and she would go from, like, village to village and treat people.
That'd be great if it was true.
And she didn't grow up in Mexico. That's just, like, that right there is false.
Lies.
And you are certainly not a holistic doctor.
Survey says no.
But I guess she would spend a lot of time. She loved, like, reading about medicine and medical stuff.
You do too.
Like, yeah, you're not a doctor.
Yeah,
like you might know some shit, but like that does not make you a doctor, my dude.
I like reading about like old Hollywood starlets, but I am not an old Hollywood starlet.
You're not?
Did I make up that? Is starlet a word?
Starlet. I think you're thinking of, but I like starlet.
I'm a starlet.
It's like violet.
Yeah, live it.
That's it.
Learn it. Love it.
All right, so she secretly opened up a couple of brothels at this point.
Actually did.
Like, literally.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah, sorry. I was like, no, she really did. But I was like, oh no, she lies a lot. Yeah. No, this is like reality. She really opened a couple of brothels behind her husband Axel's back.
Pretty baller, I think.
Very baller. And unfortunately was caught when a building manager suspected something crazy was happening in his building.
Yeah, that's risky business. You had to be pretty careful about that.
It's almost exactly risky business, but it wasn't easy though. No, this wasn't easy though, because she had it seem like it was a real business. She had a lot of things like buttoned up with this stuff. She made it look like it was an actual just like storefront.
Sure.
They even had a secret number that you had to get invited to use to call.
I love that.
And when you called, they would tell you the special. And their special was a blowjob that was for $7.50.
That's a pretty expensive blowjob for back then, huh?
I guess.
I don't know what they go for.
I found that in every source I read, and I just had to share it.
People love to talk about blowjobs, I guess.
Who doesn't love that? So the police did an undercover sting at one of the brothels to catch her. And they caught her red-handed, but it was so strange.
Red-handed?
Almost, actually. So it was strange. I read in a ton of places that these cops used this powder on their hands, and they actively touched Dorothea and the other workers to mark them, to make their case.
What?
Thank you, because I literally wrote, what
does that mean?
Like, one woman led one of the undercover detectives back to like start, because they had to pretend they were like clients.
Sure.
And like to start the whole shebang. And he touched her leg and ass to mark her, so that later they could be like, see, like they would use a UV light and be like, look.
What?
Isn't that wild?
That's like something you would see in an old movie and be like, what the fuck?
Thank you. I mean, this is the 40s, so I get like, but still, what?
I also love that they're like, we are not going to remember any of these women by eyesight, even though we are literal policemen.
So we have to literally touch their ass to make sure that we can be like, yep, that was the one.
Also, I'm like, can't you just like grab her face?
It's to like prove that they allowed them, like the transaction took place, but still like wild. Like that's a wild way to do that.
Just let them run a brothel. Okay?
Yeah, I don't
just
know.
Fuck off.
Now, she tried to convince the judge that she had no idea she was in a brothel when the cops came. But that fell apart because when they had come undercover to the brothel, she had greeted them, explained the rules, introduced her to a girl that would service them, and also had allowed them to touch her boobs for free. So, like, they knew this was true. Also,
here's my titties.
Because they used a UV light to see that the powder was marked on her boobs. So they literally...
This is not real. This is one of Dorothea's lies.
Yeah, I wish it was.
Like, is this a recount from her?
Is real.
This did not happen.
This is real.
No, it's not.
She ended up getting 90 days, but only because they lessened the charge because she was pretty charming. And she only got charged for being in a house of ill repute.
Ill repute.
So she only got 90 days for it.
Okay.
And felt up by a couple of cops,
for that sting that like never happened.
Yeah.
I can't believe it.
It was a lot. I read it in one book and I was like, no, I think this author is wrong. And then I started
You're like, you've pressed an incorrect key.
I don't know about this. And I started reading another one. I get to that like point in time and I'm like, if they don't say this, then I know that other one was false.
And then you started
and then I'm like,
it.
Oh my God, it's in this one. Then I'm like, Google, and I found it, and it was in there, and I was like, holy shit, this is real, like, this is what happened.
Wow.
No, she and Axel stayed married for 3 more years.
Oh, I even forgot about him.
But again, it became abusive, so it was just, like, not a
that's
happy
really
time.
sad.
And it seemed a very weird pattern with her husbands, that they would be, like, infatuated with her, be so amused by her crazy tall tales, and then get really angry and annoyed by her and her stories. Like, it was, like, this...
Does that sound like a little bit familiar to you?
It's like a weird, like, little... Why? Who are we thinking of?
I can't say, but like that's I feel like that's a thing.
Oh, I think I know who you're talking.
Do you know what I mean though?
I was like, wait, what? No, you do see that happen with a lot of people who like to lie.
Like, I think because like you said, like in the beginning when she was married to the first guy, Fred, it was like, it's cute and it's endearing and like they have a way of
hurting anyone.
Well, and they have a way of charming you too. Yeah. And then it's kind of like those lies start to then affect your relationship and that's not cute anymore.
That's the thing. It's like then those lies become things that are hurting you and things that, because then it's the lies are now affecting you. They're now being directed at you or about you or someone you care about.
And like, I hate to like armchair diagnose since I'm like not credible at all, but like she's clearly got a personality disorder of sorts.
Oh yeah, I think I would love to see her seen by a psychiatrist or a doctor. You know, I said a psychiatrist or a doctor. They're both
doctors.
There I go double talking. Now, I would love to see her like seen by like a professional today if she was around. But I would love to see what they said about her.
Well, even it would be interesting to see if somebody could like study her life, like a doctor could study her life and say, hey, she probably had this, and this.
Yeah, like, which I think it's like hard to do in retrospect, but it's if we could just like
if you look at the patterns,
her real quickly and put her in front of a doctor and be like, can you help? What's going on
us?
And then just get rid of her again.
And then it's sad because she could have been potentially treated.
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah.
Do you think that she believed her lies? To a degree.
Think there were times when it seems to me like there were times when she believed some of her lies. I think other ones were just kind of to make herself feel more
better. I wonder if the ones that she believed were the ones that she used to cope through childhood.
Yeah.
And then kind of just like trailed off.
Yeah, I think that was where it got. That's definitely obviously where it began, was her coping mechanism just to get through her childhood, which is sad.
But it's like a learned behavior over time.
Now, in 1961, Axel did have her committed to a psychiatric hospital.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, but she ran away and left him while he was away at sea.
Bad.
He divorced her in 1966.
Okay.
So, and I guess like they separated before that, but the divorce didn't go through until 1966. Okay. So now she needs to make money again on her own. Yeah. She's still attempting to make something of herself. So she's like, you know what do I know? What do I know? How do I know, like, what to do? So, and, you know, brothels, unfortunately, did not work out.
Too high risk.
Yeah, they were too weird, man. The way that ended, I'd be like, yeah, that got weird.
Never again.
But she was like, you know what? I know alcoholics. Okay. So you're like, where do you go from there? So she could spot a person down on their luck from a mile away. She knew what they wanted. She knew how to get things from them. And so she decided she was going to open a boarding house. And she was going to take in alcoholics and other addicts or people down on their luck. And she said, I'm going to try to... Her whole thing, like, outwardly was like, I'm going to try to take care of them and have a place they can go where I can be like their
house mother,
surrogate mother. Yeah, like house mother. But in reality, she was like, oh, I can con the fuck out of them.
Wow.
Yeah. So this was her. She knew she had to do long cons if this was going to work, because the forging and stealing had worked in the short term before, but it's not going to work forever. So she's like, I got to work with this. I got to open the house. I got to make it an actual place. I can't just like put it up like a facade. I have to actually gain these people's trust. I have to get them to give me over their financial shit. Like, I'm gonna have to really work for this.
Never give anyone your financial shit.
Which, this is where it gets like really scary with Dorothea, because it's not like she was just forging checks and doing all this like other bad shit. She was playing these long cons where she would have to like really put in the work, the time, the effort to get to know these people, get them to trust her, like really become part of their lives, and like get them to feel like she cared about them. And then she would either fuck them over or kill them.
And it's like, how do you not like, you see people down on their luck.
Yeah.
You've been down on your luck before. Like, you grew up like that.
Yeah, like, and your whole life you've been down on your luck.
How do you then fuck over those people after forming relationships with them?
Yeah. Like,
how do you have no empathy?
And you know what? She knew a lot of these people were mainly were getting government assistance, and that's what she was after. She was like, well, I'm just going to get them to sign those checks over to me.
Right.
Or I'm just going to forge those checks to myself. And this is just an easier way to steal money. It's going to be a long way to do it, but I think it'll give me the most money.
It's also like,
which, like, damn.
Yeah, I can't.
So this is when she opened up the Samaritans, she called it, which was a halfway house run by her. She was going by Sharon Johansson at this point. She kept Axel's last name.
Of course.
This was a totally illegal and unlicensed operation. She, at one point, hired a guy named T.J. Hossley, I think it was, who was in his mid-20s, and he was kind of her right-hand man, like, working on the property.
They always have one.
You always have a right-hand man.
At Jen Shaw.
At Hamilton. I need my right-hand man back.
Yes.
Well, you're out there. I know you are. I know there's people out there going, I need my right-hand man back. I know it.
They're out there.
I know you're out there. I hear you.
Hey.
I hear you. That's a great song. But
I love you.
And when she was away from the boarding home, he would be the one to kind of run things.
Yeah.
Now, it opened in 1966, the same year that the divorce went through with Axel.
That's a crazy year.
Year. It had 24 rooms in the house.
Where the fuck did she buy that?
She filled up quickly. She was.
Where do you get a place with 24 rooms?
I don't know. I must have. I'm sure
a multifamily.
They were not all bedrooms either. Like, you know, there were random rooms that she would make into rooms. Mm-hmm. Now she hired, or excuse me, I was like, she hired this guy that I just told you about. She would take in, you know, addicts, people down on their luck, people that were vulnerable, needed some help, needed to be on the right path, and her only requirement was for them to hand over their government check and make her the payee on them.
I would be like, but why do I need to do that though?
Well, basically financial control. And a lot of these places, these other places, were not great to go to, like the shelters and all that. Like, they weren't great. So she knew that this was a better option for a lot of them, so that they would do it. Because it was kind of like in desperation.
Yeah.
Now, she was making sure she was known in the community now, too. She wants to get a rep. Because remember, her whole life has been, I got to build this reputation for myself, but she's never been able to do it. Mm-hmm. This is her time to do it. She's going to make up a life now. So she wanted to be known for being kind and charitable, trustworthy, and it worked. She was the kind grandmother who spent her time helping and homing those who needed it. Mm. And the same year she opened the Samaritans, she met a Mexican-American named Roberto Jose Puente. Does that last name sound familiar?
It does.
He was 20 years younger than her.
Ooh, a cool guy.
They got close very quickly and got married in Mexico City. Their marriage was immediately not awesome because he was a big old cheater and she was not psyched about it.
Okay. However, you've cheated on your last 2 husbands. So, like, I'm not saying, like you
deserve it.
You deserve that. But it's like, you're not okay with it. Like, you're not okay with it being done to you, but you're okay with doing it.
Do as I say, not as I do.
But, like, that's not fair.
That's how she's living her life. Do as I say, not as I do.
That's just, like, the double standard of the century.
There's a lot of double standards here. He had many affairs right when they got married. Like, he was just, like, right out and about.
Like, is it sad? Yes. But, like, did you do the same thing? Yes.
Yeah. And there was an incident in the book. Let me just bring it up. It's in the book, The Corpse Collector. And this incident was just, like, wild to me, where infidelity, was found out.
Okay, let's have some real talk, just one-on-one for a second. I know you know this feeling. You start your period and the only pad that you have available is uncomfortable. It's like crunchy and weird. We can literally start our car from our phones, but we're still settling for crunchy, uncomfortable pads. Girl, listen, when you're looking for softness and protection, Kotex has you covered. They are changing the game with a completely redesigned lineup of pads and liners that are designed around what women actually want, like Kotex Bamboo. Kotex Bamboo has a 100% bamboo-derived viscose top layer that provides ultra-soft protection, which means you don't have to worry about feeling itchy or uncomfortable. It's like the worst feeling ever. It's gentle on the skin and it's made without fragrance too. Check out Kotex.com for more details on the new and exciting launch of Kotex Bamboo, available in regular, heavy, overnight, and daily liners. Every flow covered. Now available at retailers nationwide.
Here's a quick podcast for all you true crime fans. The case of the missing Reeses. It was me at the store with my mouth. Motive? They're Reeses. What was I going to do? Stop myself? Tune in next time to see if I do it again. Spoiler, I will. Wow, that had everything. Reeses, suspense, Reeses.
It became a fight, and Roberto had punched one of the home's handymen in response. Like, I guess...
Why did the handyman
Because I think the handyman was
it?
kind of blamed for telling Dorothea that he saw something that Roberto was doing.
We've got snitches coming back.
Exactly. So there's all this, like, intrigue and mystery. And so he's like, I'm going to punch this handyman because he told on me, basically.
Like, punch yourself, and then the problem will be solved.
Well, and Dorothea literally knocked Roberto out with one punch. In response, she sent him down a fucking flight of stairs, which is spousal abuse, and that's not okay.
You can't be out here doing those things.
Like, sure, is it awesome that he's cheating on you and you found out? No, of course not. But you can't punch your significant other, man, woman, it's just not.
You can't punch anyone.
You can't.
No, stop.
Yeah, don't be punching.
Hands to yourself.
Other. Use your words, Words can cut deep. I'm telling you.
They can.
They really can.
Get a thesaurus and fuck him up.
Yeah, and so she literally knocked him out down a flight of stairs with one punch, which is whoa. And
she packed a punch right
there. He stole Dorothea's car and fled back to Mexico City. So unfortunately, this whole incident became very messy for the boarding house because it was found out that she was having like domestic violence incidents in that house, and it caused the city to shut down the Samaritan house,
which wasn't even real.
Which wasn't a real house anyway.
The chaos in this story,
so much chaos.
Like, I feel like sometimes I haven't heard this all.
Yeah. Yep.
That sentence made sense. Anyways.
Yep. So the marriage was over. Obviously, at this point.
It was?
There was really no coming back from that. And she lied about why, of course. She said that they met when, he was 14 at one point. And I'm not sure why.
That makes the story worse,
weird stories. Somehow she repaired her reputation after this, though. She was able to come back. She's always coming back.
Yeah.
People thought, she was just a kind lady who got tangled up with some bad people.
Yeah.
They were like, let's give her another chance. So in the 1970s, she opened up another boarding home.
Another one.
This was a 16-bedroom Victorian house. It was at 2100 F Street in Sacramento, California. Now, this becomes a place where even those who were turned down by every other boarding home, shelter, halfway house, they would be accepted here. That's what she was
because she wants your money.
Exactly. She had a reputation for no judgment, specialized care. She changed her image completely. She had a full staff for this house, and she was like beloved.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is so bizarre.
Isn't it weird? There were holiday meals at this home where social workers, she would invite all the social workers to come and have a big holiday meal at this house.
And it's so fucking scary that this is all a facade.
This is hilarious that you just said that, because my next line in here says, but this was a facade.
I love that we are always on the same
We're just like, you were like, this is, you know what this is?
It's a facade. I didn't even see a note.
Yeah, it is.
Like, we're sitting across from each other.
Because, sure, she treated those tenants well, because she took care of them when
she
they were
has
sick.
to.
She was treating them well, but they were the ones who she had, now the ones she was treating well were the ones that she had convinced to give her their entire check and complete control of their finances to her.
Yes.
Anyone else who wouldn't give complete control, but would maybe give like a check or something here and there, she would literally keep in the basement.
Nice.
With no privacy and no lights.
Good.
There was no lights down there, just dark.
Lovely.
That
should have told everybody something.
Yeah.
Right there.
No one knew that. That's the thing. She kept them hidden. Okay. When social workers and things would come over, she would just whoop.
I'd be like,
no one lives down there.
I live down here.
I live down here. They all shared one toilet down there.
Oh no.
One tenant later said that there were like little cubicles with curtains separating them, and that's what their rooms were down there.
That's awful.
She also wouldn't allow anyone to get the mail except for her in that whole house. Nobody could have mail. No one could send mail because she was taking all their checks.
Normal.
Now, she also pretended to be a doctor again and literally set up a medical office in a room in the house. She had fake diplomas and shit on the wall.
Stop.
Which we've heard many times happening. She claimed she was a surgeon. She purchased medical tools. She gave people injections and called them vitamin shots.
What were they?
Not real sure. In fact, she even convinced, this is wild, she convinced an actual doctor who would come by to check on the tenants every once in a while. He invited her to be his assistant. And he didn't ask for any credentials.
Sir.
She was that charming and convincing.
Sir.
Yeah.
Sir.
Doctor. What?
The amount of times that I've heard, like, and then we realized he didn't even have any credentials. I'm like, I'm gonna call my doctor and be like, listen, guy, I really like you a lot, but like, do you have any credentials I could fucking look at?
Yeah, like it's always like, and then I realized he didn't even have any fingerprints, and it's like, what?
Like, and then I realized he was a figment of my imagination the whole
person.
time.
It was crazy.
Yeah, that's not good. He was a fever dream.
Everyone just needs to stop just being like, wow, this person is charming and charismatic. They're probably telling the truth. Not always.
Not
always, my friends. Now, the thing is, she was doing everything right according to outside optics. This looks great. She was taking care of her tenants. She kept the home immaculate. She was sweet, intelligent. She was ready to help anyone according to everyone. But the only thing people kept finding off-putting and weird was her crazy-ass stories that she was still telling. She was habitually
couldn't stop.
in Fantasyland. And people were like, it's cute, kind of funny, but it's weird as fuck. Like, why is she telling all these weird stories? Like, people would be like, she's great, she's awesome,
like, they're not
she's
even
so
believable.
Nice. But people are like, why does she lie so much? Like, it's weird. So the first possible victim that we have of her, the one that we know of, was an alcoholic man who found himself without a home. His name was Chief. That's what they called him. Puente stated that she was actually, she was like, I basically adopted him.
Okay.
And made him like the handyman for the house and let him stay there.
Uh-huh.
Now, she also had him dig in the basement a lot, and the basement floor was then covered with a concrete slab.
Uh-huh.
He also was later tasked with taking down a garage in the backyard and putting another concrete slab over there.
Okay.
Then he just disappeared.
So he like
don't know where he is.
His own grave.
Yep.
Question mark.
Yeah. Don't know. So that was the first weird occurrence to happen, that he just disappeared. And everyone in the house was like, we didn't know where he went. He just wasn't there one day, and Dorothea wouldn't talk about it.
Okay, wait. Imagine if you were like living in that house when all of this came to light.
Oh my God.
Because people were living in that house when it came to light.
Oh yeah.
Can you imagine sitting there and being like, I could have been, like, she may have been plotting for me next.
Oh, there's many people that were like, oh, I literally just got away from that. Like,
wow.
And we'll see in part 2 is where it gets like real, like, whoa, okay, she's going ham. Now, she's also living with a new identity at this point. Like, she's really trying to cultivate as many different identities as she can. And this time she decided that she's going to be very passionate about the arts and music scene.
Alrighty.
And the, the community. So she was starting to donate to charities in the area, and she was actually like helping Latinx artists like get exposure. That was her thing. She really wanted to get them played on the local radios and stuff. Because again, she was that's one thing she stayed true to, is that these are the people who helped her when she needed it the most as a child. So she did want to
pay back.
Do something. That's why she's such like a broken human, because it's like there's pieces of her
that are good,
that want to be a good person, but then there's pieces of her that are actual evil. And it's like, where? Never the two shall meet. Like, it's just, I don't know. She couldn't get a grasp on, I think, she obviously got a grasp on the evil part. She just could never get that grasp on the truly giving a shit about anyone else part.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things where had she grown up in a different home, this probably wouldn't have been what she did.
Yeah, because I don't think she would have had to feel like she had to be what she wasn't, but I don't know. Because
you can't say.
The shit she does is so evil that it's like, and it takes such long exposure to her victims, and it's like that's where
that's the crazy part.
My brain just can't comprehend it. Now, she actually became known as the godmother of the artists for a while in the community.
Wow.
Because she would do so much for them. Now, the money she was using to donate to these charities was stolen money.
Right.
So it's like, this was all bullshit.
Right.
It's all a facade. Now, Puente married for the 4th time on August 28th, 1976. This man's name was Pedro Montalvo. He worked on the grounds initially at the boarding home, actually, and he was also a tenant at one point. He was physically abusive and a pretty raging alcoholic. The marriage only lasted a few months and was annulled.
That's sad.
But she kept that last name for a while, and she did this so she could just make up a new identity if she needed to. Now, she began donating to political campaigns at this point, because she was like, no, I'm going to get in with them. And really, like, she John Wayne Gacy'd that. Like, she wanted to get, like, hip to hip with actual politicians to really, like, make herself seem very, credible.
Well, and she might have needed them at some point.
Exactly. And politicians loved her. She was at events dancing with governors and shit. Like, she started bringing in women who were from abused homes to the boarding home, and they literally saw her as a mother or, like, a grandmother. God. They called her that. She was kind to them and actually mothered them, which is weird.
What?
Like, they weren't her kids, but they said she was very motherly with them.
Which is weird, because she didn't want to be a mother.
Her own children, which does make me wonder about the postpartum thing,
for sure.
Because they did that wasn't a factor here.
Right.
So
because there weren't all the hormones associated with that.
It's interesting. She gave money to tenants' families when they were in need and shit. Like, but this was all stolen money.
But it's not her money, right?
Exactly. So it's like, you're like, oh, well, that's nice. No.
But I mean, I guess in her mind, it is her money.
It's just weird. Now, suddenly she told everyone she was sick with terminal cancer. And she drew up a will and left everything she owned. She was going to leave them to the charities and her adopted women of the boarding house. That's what she said. Mm-hmm. This was all bullshit. She did have, like, a cancerous lesion, like a precancerous lesion, removed from the tip of her nose.
Okay.
But it was all fake, everything else. So, again, this is all stolen. It's like stolen checks, government assistance, Social Security, all stolen from her tenants.
And if you can lie about having cancer...
Yeah, that's where things get real hairy.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
Who you are as a human being. That's when your soul is trashed. Like,
You're
that's
disgusting.
It's officially trashed.
Like, there's no...
Yeah.
No.
And she's funding her reputation and societal standing on the people she was, quote, taking care of. That's what she's doing. Now, in 1977, a former tenant took her shit down. Oh. Now, Robert Davis...
Were they living in the basement?
Well, Robert Davis was in prison, actually, at the time. And he was not receiving his Social Security checks. And he was a former tenant.
Sure.
He called to check it out. He's like, why am I not receiving these? And he found out that they were being cashed.
Of course.
He immediately started thinking about Dorothea because she had access to them while he lived there. He reported her immediately, and an investigation found out that she forged her name to at least 34 other Social Security checks.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's a lot of money.
That's a lot. And she actually tried to claim that he had allowed her to do this, and even said that he signed the check in front of prison guards. But she was lying. She just lied.
Did they believe her?
And no, the prison guards were like, no, she didn't. Like, no, that didn't happen.
Did she not think that they were going to be like, nah, that didn't happen?
Thing. It's like when people lie like this, though, they don't think they'll get caught. They don't think anyone is smart enough to like catch up with them.
Because they're also just thinking from one lie to the next.
Yeah, exactly. They're not thinking like long game. Yeah. Now, they caught her, obviously, in this lie. She ended up with probation and a fine. But they also made her give up
for 30 security
She was
checks?
able to talk herself out of a lot.
It's great.
Because she would come
happens,
off
man.
Yeah, and she would come off too as like an elderly grandmother type.
Right.
Like that was her thing. She would use that.
She looks like it.
She looks like a sweet grandma.
Yeah.
And it's like she would use that shit.
I said in the beginning of this, like if I walked past her, I'd be like, oh, hi, how are you?
Look at that
like,
sweet grandma.
Aw, cutie.
She knew how to use it.
It's scary. It
Just
scares
like
me.
when she was younger, she knew how to use her
good
looks
looks.
because she was really pretty. Then when that started to change a little bit and she was getting older, she saw that she was getting more when she was a little like matronly grandmother.
Yeah.
So yeah.
She knows how to play it, man.
But they also forced her to give up the boarding house during this. So she had to get rid of it again and she had to go to extensive therapy. But
so she went to extensive therapy then?
Well, she did. But like she didn't go to extensive therapy. She went to like one psychiatrist for like a minute and a half. And she was like, that'll do it. And they were, and at that point, like they're not like checking up on these things.
Why though? Like
her
check
doctor,
up on that.
Her doctor at the time was Dr. Thomas Moody. He diagnosed her with chronic undifferentiated schizophrenia.
What?
Yeah. I know. That's I was like, I don't know
Not
where
my
that
first
came
thought.
from, but okay. Also, at this point, her reputation was done, obviously, because she got arrested again.
Yeah.
Because now there was access to her whole background as a felon, a thief, a frauder, an owner of a brothel, all the crimes she committed. They're now
all linked together
coming out
and
to
right there
light.
in the open.
Now she moved to Stockton and had to go back to working like, odd jobs, scrounging together money again. She's still trolling bars at night looking for older men to scam. She was still forging checks and got caught, but somehow snaked out of it again. So in 1979, she had got work as, are you ready?
No.
A nurse's aide for elderly patients.
What? Mm-hmm. Why?
Yep, she lied her way into it.
Who signed off on that? She has no credentials. Again, my head's gonna explode.
Remember, this is the time when like anyone would apparently believe you if you were kind of charismatic.
Like, what?
In that same year, she met a guy named Ricardo Ordorica at a bar called Joe's Corner. And she approached him because she said she heard that he had a second floor apartment for rent. He did, but it was unfinished. And he was like, do you really want it? It's not done yet. And he had just purchased this home. It was a Victorian home on 1426 F Street in Sacramento. Oh, same street.
Hello.
And he
Also,
had bought
we
it
love a
for his wife and his 2 daughters. He was like working on it. And she told him she wanted to rent that second floor apartment. And she didn't care to see it first because she loved that neighborhood. She was like, I lived there once. I love that place.
Okay.
Yeah. So she told him, I'm in the medical field. And she was like, I'll do the repairs myself to the apartment. You don't have to worry about it.
I'm in the medical field, so I'll do the repairs.
So I'll do the construction work.
Those two correlate.
Definitely. She also told them how she lived in castles before. She was a very wealthy woman. She had lived in castles.
I lived in a castle, and now I'd like to rent your unfinished second floor apartment.
Well, and he asked that. He was like, "What?"
He was like, "This is not exactly a castle." So.
Exactly. And she said, "Well, I've fallen on hard times, and I'm not above like doing this.
I'm not above not living in a castle."
Right. Well, the family loved her. They loved her.
She
babysat the kids.
Stop that. Can you fucking imagine?
Yeah.
Dare I say
Finding us
again?
out.
If Dorothea Puente babysat your motherfucking children.
No.
What?
But she babysat those kids and they loved her.
What?
She tutored Ricardo and his wife Veronica in English. Like, she was a lovely tenant.
I'm so confused.
She is very scary with how she can, like, flip right into it. She has made it her whole life to fit into roles, and damn, she can do it. And she fit that.
And it's weird that
she wanted to be a grandmother. She's going to be a grandmother.
So what's she gaining from them?
Well, we'll see. Now, she had to leave, like she was living there. She had to leave for a period of time, but she kept the apartment because she told them, I have to go take care of this elderly patient. I have to give her a lot of time, so I'm going to be out of the apartment for a while. Now, this patient was in her 70s. She was terribly ill. This woman was Esther Busby. Esther was having this weird illness where she would be fine and then suddenly get super sick and have to be hospitalized,
when Dorothea
reach
was
the brink
around.
of death, and then be fine again. It happened over and over like clockwork. And Dorothea was her caretaker. And weirdly, this all started once she began working for her. Now, social workers were concerned. A lot of nurses at the hospital, too, thought Dorothea was great, actually. And they just loved, you know, they were all like, I think she just loves Esther. Like, she just takes care of her. And also a lot of them were like, I'm a little suspicious.
So it was like half and half.
Half and half. And thought, you know, maybe she's harming her somehow. But this doctor named Dr. Jerome Lackner, he was the doctor treating Esther, and he was especially concerned about what was going on here. And he brought it up to Adult Protective Services. He was like, something's wrong here. Who agreed. They were like, let's investigate. So Dorothea found out that this was going to happen, that they were investigating, and took Esther to another hospital the next time she had the same illness. What? So she was trying to take her away from, so the new doctors and nurses wouldn't see that evidence.
Pattern, right.
But Dr. Lackner had blood tests ordered himself and found phenobarbital, a medication that was not just prescribed to Esther, in her blood. And it also showed that there was digoxin, and digoxin was a heart medication that Esther was not prescribed. Ooh, little edit here. It's actually pronounced digoxin, not digoxin. Duh. Sorry about that. Carry on. But Dorothea was prescribed it. She was also taking money from Esther's family. She would tell them Esther was dying of terminal cancer, and they would just send money and she would pocket it.
What?
Esther fired Dorothea upon finding this out.
This woman reached the brink of death.
And found out that she was being poisoned on the regular. She was
fuck?
placed in a nursing home after this, and Dorothea visited her once and brought her food, and she got sick immediately after. And she actually ended up dying the next year.
I'm sure because of everything that her body went through.
And
so she fired Dorothea, and then Dorothea went back to her
visit her to be like, you know, I had nothing to do with this. Like, I made you this food.
Like, I'm not eating your food.
Well,
lady.
and Dr. Lackner and the nurses tried to get the death labeled suspicious at the very least.
Yeah.
But they said they didn't have any real evidence.
How about all the
like,
weird things
blood
that
tests?
you found in her blood?
Well,
yeah.
like what? So she kept working and started doing it to another elderly woman at another hospital. And she was fired again when social workers stepped in again.
And so she's just doing this because these people's family are sending them money?
Yeah, and she thinks that if she can get close enough to them, that she can start taking their checks, taking their money, maybe get them to sign something over to her.
Wow.
In 1981, she was acting as a nurse and a cook to 84-year-old Dorothy Gosling. She had almost $4,000 worth of jewelry taken from her. Dorothy did.
Oh my goodness.
She later said she would suddenly pass out and wake up to find tons of stolen things like checks, money, gone.
It's so sad that this happens so often to elderly people.
Exactly.
Like, it's you live your whole life
so
and then you get
vulnerable.
fucked over by some greedy asshole.
That's what kills me. And she couldn't explain the time she was suddenly asleep and found.
Getting scared is one thing. Getting a thrill is, well, you want more of those in your life. The Genesis GV70 is built to thrill, baby. A thrilling yet elegant design always makes driving the GV70 an exciting adventure. Its powerful athletic stance screams performance and turns heads. Everybody's looking at you, girl, or boy, or whoever. Command the road and experience a class-leading standard 300 horsepower. Oh my God. Plus, discover the different dynamic drive modes for all different terrains. Choose between the different terrain modes for whatever road conditions you may encounter. The Genesis GV70's award-winning technology and performance lets you drive with comfort and drive with confidence all at the same time. It's an exciting SUV with intuitive tech that can make your ride smooth even when the road isn't. And its blind spot cameras allow you to see what's next to you. It's like having eyes on the side of your head. That's pretty iconic. Its performance, by the way, is is measured not only in power, but in how it makes you feel confident, sexy. The Genesis GV70. Learn more at genesis.com and feel the GV70. The best summer pieces are the ones you end up wearing on repeat. Comfortable, versatile, and somehow right for almost every occasion. Quince makes it easy to create a summer wardrobe that you'll love, with elevated essentials made from premium materials like European linen, organic cotton, and washable silk, without the traditional retail markup. I love that! Quince's 100% European linen pants, dresses, and tops are the pieces that you absolutely will reach for all summer long. I absolutely love their linen. I have so many pairs of their linen pants, which you can dress up or you can dress down in the summer. Like, say you're going to a nice dinner, you can pair it with like a silk shirt, a really cute necklace, some good, makeup and an updo. Or if you're just looking for a more casual look, you can do the linen pants with like a loose button-up shirt and you still look really chic, kind of like, I don't know, Diane Keaton vibes, I kind of think. Also, it's not just apparel. Quince also offers elevated essentials for your home, from bedding and bath to kitchen essentials and furniture. They have it all, honey. I am a big lover of Quince, and I really do think you will be too. Make your summer wardrobe feel easier. Go to quince.com/morbid for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. Now available in Canada too. That's QUINCE.com/morbid for free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/morbid.
Out later that Dorothy was drugging her. Like, she found that out later.
That's really sad.
And here she is just thinking, like, what the fuck is going on with me? I'm just like
passing out,
losing periods of time. Now, in January 1982, she met a man named Malcolm Mackenzie at Joe's Corner. Dorothea did. He was 74 years old and literally went to this bar every night just to chat with people.
I love that.
He would have 2 drinks and just chat with everyone.
Just likes to hang out. He's a social butterfly.
Yeah. So she saw him, she flirted with him, convinced him to be like, hey, come back to my place. Once inside, he keeled over on the couch and became paralyzed, he said. And he said when they were walking in, he was like, I felt woozy, but I was like, oh, did those like 2 drinks really hit me?
She dosed him.
She fucking dosed him to the point where he keeled over on the couch with his eyes wide open, able to see everything and couldn't move or speak.
What? And what did he see?
So she had drugged his drink at the bar, obviously. She stole his rare penny collection.
Why?
His checks and his cash, all in front of him, while he lay paralyzed on the couch watching her do it.
What the fuck?
She watched her raid his home, and then he said he just watched her walk towards him and couldn't move, couldn't scream, nothing. Stared right into his eyes, slipped the ring off his finger. And when he couldn't get it off, she went to the kitchen, got lard, and used it to slip it off his finger. Yeah, and then just left.
This woman is the Grinch.
Alone for hours like that. He was paralyzed on his couch alone for hours until he could finally start moving. It started wearing off.
And you don't even think it's going to wear off. I'm sure you're probably just sitting there like,
I'm going to die like this. Like, this is how I die. God. He contacted police immediately, and they found her immediately because she had weirdly used her own name this time.
I'm glad.
I don't know why. She was caught trying to cash 2 of Malcolm's checks.
Did he get his penny collection back?
I don't know if he did, actually.
I need to know.
She claimed he gave them to her. He did not.
Duh.
She had been pretending to be in her 70s to him. She was only in her 50s at the time.
So one time she's
acting,
16 and is 30 on paper.
Yeah.
And now she's 50 but is 70 on paper.
Yep.
What does that tell you?
I don't know. But
a story.
She was arrested again, but she got away with it because she convinced the police that Malcolm was just mad that she rejected him.
I'd be like, hi, I was just paralyzed for hours. You want to test my blood?
Well, and then they were like, she also said she had a condition that made her just like forget when she did stuff. And they were like, oh, sure. Bye. Also, I got to tell you, this story, the police in this story, I'm like, are you for real? Can you hear me? Like, are you all right? Are you all right in there? What's going on? And by the end of part 2, you're going to be like, what? No. Like, no. They made lots of boo-boos. Now, 1 week after this whole shit went down really with Malcolm, she becomes the caretaker to an 82-year-old woman named Irene Gregory.
No, I hate that she's fucking over all these elderly people because it's really hurting my heart.
She met her, introduced herself as Betty Peterson, That's not her name. Her name is Dorothea Puente.
I know.
Or
is it?
And she took her blood pressure, Irene's blood pressure, and immediately was like, ooh, like your blood pressure shows me that you're holding a lot of water. And so she was like, you need to take some water pills to regulate your system a little bit.
No.
Here we go. So she drugs her. And when Irene gained consciousness again, she found that Dorothea had stolen her diamond ring.
No.
And medications from her, most notably some sedatives and sleeping pills. Dude. She kept doing this to several elderly women for months. She would steal medication and money from them.
To like build up
and she
a
would
collection.
use the medication to drug other people to eventually kill them. And she would just steal all their shit. Claire Malaville and Loretta Chalmers were another couple of victims that had the same things happen to them. And they were too old and sick to even testify against her.
That's horrific.
They couldn't show up in court because they were too old.
I would haunt the shit out of her.
Now, we are going to end part 1 there because when we pick up at part 2, she starts murdering.
Oh.
Where part 2 is all about when she really ratchets this up a notch.
Okay.
Because we already have Chief who went missing, but we don't know exactly what happened there.
Uh-huh.
Now we can kind of look back and say what
we
happened.
Probably know what happened.
But part 2 is going to get real gnarly. We're going to talk about a woman named Ruth Monroe, which is like such a sad story.
This whole thing is horrific.
This whole thing is really horrifying, but
devastating.
That's where I'm going to end part 1 because we have sufficiently set Dorothea up to the point where she is now harming elderly people and not giving a shit if they live or die just so she can steal all their stuff. Wow. I mean, she was clearly trying to kill some of these women.
Yeah, obviously.
Like
I feel like she's trying to kill all of them.
She was trying to kill them.
Mm-hmm.
Like, no doubt. She just failed. That's all. But she does eventually become successful at it, and it is horrifying.
Oh.
So that is part 1 of Dorothea Puente.
Yeah, this has been a lot.
Yeah.
I'd like to go drink some hot cocoa by a fire. Yep. So thank you for listening, and we hope you keep listening.
And we hope you
keep
it weird.
But not so weird that you're harming the elderly because they're going to haunt you in the afterlife and you're an asshole and I hate you. Thanks, bye.
Yeah, not so weird that you're just an asshole who lies and cons people. Don't do it.
Especially the elderly.
Yeah, they're sweet.
I love them.
The holiday commercials now with elderly people
Ruin
get out of
me.
town.
Fucking
They're adorable.
Ruin
I'll buy whatever you want me to if you put an elderly person living alone with some lights that need hanging.
I'll just never stop crying. The end.
Waking up exhausted, foggy, and running on empty? For me, one of the missing pieces was magnesium support. That's why I added Magnesium Breakthrough by Optimizers to my nightly routine. It's a powerful all-in-one magnesium complex with 7 forms of magnesium designed to support relaxation, sleep, stress response, and recovery. If you're ready to feel more rested and have a great summer, go to bioptimizers.com/hags and use code HAGS for 15% off any order.
I like things my way, my coffee, my schedule, and my treatment. So I talked to my doctor about self-injecting with the Vyvgart Hytrulo prefilled syringe, which contains efgartigimod alpha and hyaluronidase QVFC. It's injected under your skin, subcutaneously. It means I can inject in my space, on my time. It's my treatment, my way. Visit VyvgartMyWay.com. That's VYVGART myway.com. And talk to your doctor about Vyvgart Hytrulo, brought to you by argenx.